The first message that I have here is I feel like a lot of you for this month of April, you're going to be telling somebody like either reaffirming your capabilities to them or having to prove your intentions with them. And I feel for some of you, it might be, talking to a financial institution like a bank or even a credit union to take out a loan. And you're going to have to prove your credit worthiness with them. And that means, laying out all of your paperwork, how much money you're making, as well as all the assets that you own, so that they can approve something. So you're proving to them your ability to pay back a loan. So you're laying it out there. And I feel like it's a very extensive process. Okay. So I see you shopping around, saving up money, and I do feel you talking to financial institutions regarding a major endeavor. So like it's a big it could be like a big project or a big ticket item that you're planning to purchase. And for others of you, it's sort of like reassuring another person, I've got this, I'll take care of it, and things like that. So I'm seeing like a lot of these instances coming up through the month where you have to show somebody your capabilities, and you're not just, your sense of whether or not you're able to do something isn't so much dependent on whether or not they trust you. But I feel like you're doing it in a reassuring way to let them know that you're capable and that you can handle a situation. I do see for some of you a little bit of stress from your coworkers in your work environment. It seems as if they're a little bit frazzled, they're very worried, and I feel like you're in a position where you're going to have to reassure other people that you're working with that I've got this. I'm going to take care of it. We'll be okay. And some of you doing that with your relationship partners as well. So I feel like you're coming in this month in with a very, very strong command of your situation, with very strong situational awareness and having a lot of control in the environment that you're in. Okay. The second message that I have coming through is, it feels to me as if some of you are dealing with a person, and I feel like for most of you, it might be a woman, like another female. It could be a child that's a female child, or it could be, somebody who has, I'm seeing more of a female energy rather than male. Okay. And this person has a tendency to worry a lot. This person is not very grounded. So when they make decisions, they just kind of shoot off, right? And they don't really have a strategy. They don't really have like long-term, goals and things like that. So I feel like they behave and they react in a very instinctive manner. And I feel like you have dealt with this person for quite some time. And their life seems to me to be a little bit chaotic. And so you might have, in the past told them, you should do this, you should do that because, it's going to help you. And I feel like you're right. But they haven't really taken your advice in the past. They try their best, and given the circumstances, I feel like they just don't make good decisions overall. It's almost like, they can't see the forest for the trees, and they can't really implement the advice that you have given them. I do see them coming through. For some of you, it might be a friend, but I'm feeling a very strong feminine vibe with this person. I feel that person coming through this month with the same problem. And I feel like, this is the month in which you have to emotionally detach yourself. Okay. And the key word being offer your advice one more time and relinquish control. And I feel like a lot of you, you're just like, I don't know what she is thinking, and I can't invest anymore in this emotionally. And I feel a lot of you just relinquishing control, just detaching yourself emotionally. You really care about this person, and I feel like they're coming to you with some heavy stuff. But it's the same pattern. So relinquishing control, doing your best not to control the outcome anymore, because you feel like your advice, your expertise, whatever it is that you're hoping that they would do, that's better for them, or that's more in alignment with what they should be doing. You're going to have to relinquish control for this month. The last message that I have here is, I'm seeing that some of you, there's a thing here where it indicates to me something about working smart rather than working hard. Okay. And the past few years, many of you, you're really, really good workers. And I feel like, that you're the worker bees of the zodiac. And I feel that you might also, whenever you go through like a binge period where there's a lot of work on your plate, right? After all of it is done and over with, then you feel like, oh my gosh, I need a detox. And so you might take a vacation, or you might, take it easy. And so there, I see this binge period of working, and then a little bit of a lull where you actually like overindulge either in food, either in like, oversleeping, overeating. And so they're urging you to take better care of your health and make sure that your work does not affect you physically and emotionally. Okay, so that's really important. But the other message that's coming through, where you are changing the way that you're doing things, you're finding faster, more efficient way to do things. And I feel like you're meeting coworkers, and you're meeting the work demands at your own pace. So you're slowing down the work situation to match your pace, so you're not wearing yourself to the ground, and you're working smarter, not harder. Okay? Things will still be very productive because you know how to manage responsibilities, you know how to delegate, and you know how to systematically get things done. But I feel like you're taking a smarter approach, and you're detaching yourself from the work environment too, so that it doesn't affect you personally and emotionally. Actually, there is one other message, and I'm trying to find a way to relay this in a coherent manner so that it ties in. I feel as if some of you are saving up quite a bit of money. And if not already, there's a big thing here about financial assets. Okay, so trying to secure a financial future for yourself, starting to save up, having disposable income where you can put it away, and where you can find, other avenues where the money can start growing for you. I saw this energy coming through in the March timeframe. Some of you have already started implementing that in March, or have really thought about it heavily in March. And some of you are trying to find ways to do that. So I see a lot of consolidation, getting all your bills and getting everything that you owe, and then finding ways to tackle them all at the same time. So this reading is kind of like in opposition to Leo, where Leos have this one insurmountable task ahead of them, and they're breaking it down into little manageable chunks. I feel like you're taking all of those chunks and you're clumping them together so that you can chip away at the big thing. So it's a really, really good month overall. Okay. I do sense a lot of financial planning coming through for you guys, which is really good overall. So let's go into this spread here. The other message that's coming in quite strongly, and it is the Mercury in retrograde period. And it's going to start on April 9th, and it's going to end on March 3rd. So the thing about Mercury in retrograde, as it relates to you guys, because Mercury is your ruler, is for you to be very careful about getting all your things lined up so that you're not leaving the house forgetting little things here and there, and staying in the present moment, staying very focused so that you're not, forgetting things that you need to do. So it's sort of like, when you leave work, for example, you have a million errands to run, and you might just drive home on autopilot. So being very careful about not forgetting stuff. Okay. I don't feel like you're going to, this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you personally, but I feel like it might affect the people that you are in close proximity with, either family members or people you're in a relationship with and you're dealing with them extensively. So I feel like it's affecting their ability to get things done. It's affecting their emotional well-being, as well as I see more of a nervous energy coming around from people around you rather than from you. And you're the one that's going to have to reassure others. Okay. What I'm seeing here is this. The communication is going to flow heavily between you and a relationship partner. So this can be a work partnership. If things have gone awry, I do feel that you might try to, decide to disband a project. But I do feel that there is a little bit here, energy here about you having to reassure the other person that you have the best, I guess, like the best blueprint for how things should be implemented. So I see you asserting your will, asserting your what you feel is the right way to move forward with projects. And then the same in the same light with relationship partners as well. You're reassuring them that things are going to get better. I have some things here that indicates to me a little bit of interference in current relationships. If you have a relationship that's fairly new, and fairly new means, less than a year old. Okay. So that's still fairly new. And I feel like there might be some insecurities from the relationship partner about your ex, about the person that you had a significant relationship with in the past. And so you're going to have to do some, strengthening of that relationship, telling your partner, the past is in the past. I'm here now. And so doing some reassurance and basically doing damage control too, so that your current partner can trust you. I do feel as well some new things coming into the household. A lot of you might have welcomed new pets or new children into the household. And I don't like to clump pets and animal babies and pets together, but it seems to me something very small, very compact, requires a lot of attention. So that's what I'm feeling. Something was recently added into your household. If not, it's going to be added in for this month. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of like a concerted effort between partners to come together and to take care of something. Just make sure the relationship itself is very balanced. Okay. I feel like if you're dealing with that situation, one person is a little bit like hands off, whereas you're a lot more hands on when it comes to like new addition to the family, new addition within the household. So pets and babies. Okay. What I'm also feeling is this. There is this energy. It's showing up as a blast from the past, but it's not a physical person. It's a situation that happens and that happened in the past with a person from your past. And it's triggering a specific feeling. And let me just talk about this a little bit because it's coming through strongly in these three cards. So this is the relationship that you're hoping to achieve right now. Okay. It's in your seventh house with the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. And the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse basically indicates a relationship, trying to take things to the next level, trying to progress to the next stage, evolution in the relationship with another person. However, your timeline of when things need to be done and your partner's timeline as to when things need to be done are in a little bit of a conflict with one another. And I feel like the conflict is coming in externally. So for example, some of you might want to get married and your partner financially and professionally, they might not be where they want to be. And so they can't really make promises until things are stable from their end, right? And then likewise, they might want to move things along in a specific time frame and you're kind of like putting the brakes on. So I feel like there's a little bit of a mismatch when it comes to timing and when it comes to professional achievements, when it comes to, life circumstances. That's preventing you and a partner from coming together and taking a relationship to the next level. And because of that, I do sense that some of you, this incident here is triggering up something from the past where a similar situation happened, where you both really care about one another. And there was, a lot of trust, a lot of reciprocity, and a lot of warm, lighthearted feelings in the past. And I feel like you might have had a situation where you have lived with another person or might have possibly been married to another person. And the relationship itself was great, but for some reason, the timing issue was very problematic. And because of that, I feel like the relationship didn't come together or it fell apart in a way that was kind of like regrettable and unexpected. And so because you're encountering the same type of blockage in your current relationship, some of you are feeling that sense of flashback, but some of you are feeling insecure as well. So just be careful about projecting and especially bringing old energies into new relationships. Okay. Be very, very careful about that. This situation is going to write itself up and it's going to turn out well. So I feel that you need to divert your attention towards your own life, your own things, and your own interests and your own hobbies, and especially your own friends. Okay. I do see like the friendship The friendship group association houses, like those two areas, there's a little bit of a standstill there. So you have to branch out, reconnect with some friends, do your own thing, and leave your partner to his or her own devices so that they can, catch up to you, or they can, get themselves realigned so that you both can then move forward together. So that's what I'm feeling here. Some of you are in a relationship here with a water sign. So this is a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio that you might be physically living with, and you're thinking about taking things to the next level, buying property, getting yourself into like a solid relationship, a committed relationship. And you feel almost as if they're just dragging their feet. They're not really, you know, they're not really taking the initiative to move things along in the manner that you'd hope. If that is the case, give it a little bit more time. But at the same time, I feel like having a major discussion about this, where we're headed, what we're expecting from each other, that's going to be vital for you, because I feel like the relationship itself, there's a lot of chemistry. There's really, really good rapport between the two of you. I see a little bit of incompatibility when it comes to communication. One person might be very laid back, the other person might be quite assertive, but I feel that it can work out in a really harmonious manner. Okay, so it's just a matter of I feel like one person needs to slow things down a little bit and the other person needs to catch up. So it's a compromise and it can get there, but make sure both people need to, work together and have this concerted effort so that one person doesn't feel like they're doing all the work to push things along. I mentioned earlier your friendship circle. There's a little bit of a silence here. So I have here the Four of Swords, which basically indicates some type of a break from communication or some type of a standstill. Okay, and I have here the Four of Pentacles as well. And the Four of Pentacles is kind of like hanging on to the status quo, not wanting to branch out, and also holding on to your feelings and not extending your tentacles out, I guess, in the group associations and in the friendship house. So both of these cards indicate that you need to reconnect with old friends. And Mercury in retrograde is a time for us to redo things. The keywords meaning, the keywords coming through is like revisiting, reconnecting, and to redo something, to revisit something from your past. And that can be making time for your friends, making time to catch up. And the best things that can come out of Mercury in retrograde cycle is, reconnecting and having a great conversation with somebody that you haven't seen in a while. And I do sense because of that, it's really important for you to just, reach out a little bit, okay? And for those of you who are single, I do feel right now, for those who are single, and you might have had some blockages when it comes to going out, having fun, meeting new people, and even potentially putting yourself out there so that you are in the right place to meet a love relationship partner. I feel like misconnections happening for this month, okay? And I do feel there's a little bit of it's not so much a flake out energy, but it's sort of like you have to be extra assertive in order to connect with a romantic interest. So I feel like the chemistry is there, the potential is there. And I see a lot of you like online dating. So I have like a series of cards here that indicate, letting go of the past relationship, because I feel like it was filled with a lot of strife. And I do feel like you were in a relationship where there has been a major power struggle. Power struggle is when you can't see eye to eye and the other person, like there's control issues, and one person wants independence, the other person wants freedom and things like that. And so I'm feeling like you were in a relationship with a lot of like power struggles. And I feel like you were in a relationship as well where you just weren't compatible. You weren't compatible with the other person. And it seemed like they're saying here unbalanced. So that can be emotionally unbalanced. Whoever is, one person felt like they gave a lot and the other person took it for granted. So that can be an imbalance itself. Or the last thing is chemically imbalanced. Okay, so there might have been some situation here where a relationship has really good potential, but it fell apart because of some type of internal imbalance and power struggle. And I feel like this is a relationship that might have been, you thought it was going to go the distance. It might have been, it might have led to marriage. You might have lived together with the other person, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. And so it took you a long time to get to this point where you are dating. I feel a lot of you are trying to branch out. This is usually internet-based type of connection. You're making connections with other people for those who are single. You're running into new people that really spark your passion. And you're running into potentially attracted to somebody that also reminds you of your ex. So I feel like the opportunity here for you to get a do-over is very, very strong. So a redo, a rematch, a redo, and to take away the lessons from the past, and so that you can make this relationship work this time around. That's also very important, okay? So overall, for singles, the opportunity is there, but I feel like it's requiring you to revisit something from the past to make sense of it, so that you can make the new relationship a lot more successful, a lot more compatible, and a lot more harmonious. Okay. For those of you in stable relationships, I feel like you and a loved one, you're working together as a unit. You might not agree on certain things, but I feel like you're working together as a unit and you're pushing ahead. And I keep seeing this energy here where you and your partner are working really, really hard in order to push ahead professionally. And then you're both working together very hard together in order to, harmonize a relationship. And I do sense that you're doing it with a brave face, you're doing it with a smile. And if you feel at all that your partner, it seems like there is that emotional connection that needs to be revisited as well with you and your partner. It's like you're doing your own thing, they're doing their own thing. And so that emotional connection, I feel like it's like falling away on the wayside. There might be a lot of responsibilities. And so making time to have that emotional connection as well, that's going to be really important. Okay. I mentioned this last month as well, but it's coming through again. I feel like a lot of you, professionally, work-wise and professionally, you have a lot of plans, and you have like, you have this, it seems like you're projecting into the future as to what you need to do, where you need to be, and how you can, I almost want to say like, a few of you jumping ship from one department to the next, trying to get, into a position where you're able to shift around a little bit more, where your professional life is not stagnant. So you're finding creative ways in order to apply your skills and to also be able to continue to rise, or to rise up that corporate ladder, or even to rise up when it comes to your salary and your work situation. So I feel like there's a lot of momentum, a lot of support overall when it comes to your professional life. Okay. And others of you, they're saying like diversifying, branching out when it comes to making money. So opportunities coming in plentifully for you to start thinking about where you can make money, side projects that you can do, and things like that. So if you have reached out to a few people to collaborate with them, I feel like there's going to be a period where you are working with another, like a group of people, or like another person, to finalize some projects, to implement something, or to start something. And I feel like the August timeframe is when things will come full circle, is when all of the details will be hashed out, and when the groundwork will be laid for the new projects to really take off. Okay. So this month, April, and I feel like April and half of May might be the preliminary planning stages. Okay. So if you're planning to buy things, if you're planning to invest too, this month and the beginning of May, would be the time where the blueprint gets laid out, the roadmap gets laid out, and then things will start to move forward in a very fast and swift manner, towards the middle of the May timeframe. Okay. So I wish you the best. It looks like a lot is happening for you guys. Be very careful. This last message I'm getting here, I'm seeing like weak stomach, so that means like digestive problems or even like I'm seeing like food allergies, digestive problems, as well as just be very careful. Heat up your food. I know that you're quite picky about your food, but specifically for this month, heat up your food before you ingest, and especially like being careful. Make sure that if something smells a little bit, like old, or if it's been sitting there and you don't know for how long, just toss it out.